Anyway,
let's get into our cinematic experience. Let's start with that short.
Yeah, Piper.
The best one they've ever done.
Oh, it was so good.
Probably.
mm-hmm.
I mean, when I first saw it, I'm like, hey, this is just a movie. They filmed this with a camera.
Yeah.
There is an element of cartooning to it, obviously. The way that the bird moves, and there's a cartoony element to it. But it's the most photorealistic thing Pixar's maybe ever done.
Yeah. By a long shot.
Except for his big ol' eyes.
He's big old, and obviously, like, his expressiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love birds, but let's face it, their eyes are cold and dead.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. And at first I'm like, oh, this bird is my son. And then I saw the hermit crab. I was like, fuck you, bird. He's my son. I love that hermit crab. But Nina made a great point, because Nina saw the movie twice. Once with the rest of the family and once with me, because I had work.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how Zootopia worked out for me. You had a really good way to describe like how the short is so perfect.
I mean, it's obviously incredibly impressive on a technological standpoint when it comes to the rendering and the way that it looks, the water, the bubbles, every individual.
My favorite was the sand. My favorite thing was the sand.
The sand.
I mean, that's always been the starting point for basically every Pixar short, is them testing some new technology. All the way back to like Luxo Jr. That's like directional lighting.
Yeah. But one of the things that makes it so technically brilliant as a piece of art, as filmmaking, is that, again, there's no dialogue, which has been kind of the standard for Pixar shorts anyway.
I think all of them except Boundin'.
Yeah. But within like 3 or 5 minutes, you have a complete arc.
Yep.
You have an establishment of your characters. You have conflict, lowest point, conflict resolution,
denouement
at the end. Like you have the entire
hero's journey.
Yeah, you really do. You have the whole story of framework for a story within that very small amount of time, executed beautifully. So simply, it looks effortless, but it couldn't have been. Like Nikki, when he like looked in the credits and he was like, story, and I was like, yeah, somebody had to write it. Like, what if it's a bird and he doesn't want his mom to stop spoiling him, but then he gets scared.
He's so scared of the water.
He wants to eat little oysters.
And then he eats all the little
bivalves.
Bivalves.
I don't know what the fuck they were. Listen, I've seen those shells at the beach a lot. I lived in Central Florida for 8 years. I honestly never occurred to me that a living thing was in there. And that's just life, I guess. I don't know.
But the whole point was like looking at the world.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it wasn't even just that he learned not to be scared of the water. He became like the best shell finder. He was like dragging a fucking clam out of the fucking ocean.
Yeah, like he had his teacher, the hermit crab, the wise man,
his
let's
Miyagi.
say, of the story, teach him this new method he never thought about, and then suddenly he saw a whole new world of opportunities. And it was beautiful.
And then he taught all the other birds how to do it, and they started overfishing the beach, and then they ran out of food, and the ecosystem was destroyed.
And then he had hiccups because he ate too much.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
Oh, and I really loved it too, because I remember like when I was watching it both times, the audience was incredibly responsive. Immediately the audience is hooked.
Oh, they loved it.
They care. They love it. Adults, kids, everybody adored it and was following it the whole way. And it was great. It was nice to have an experience of everybody just enjoying this small little story done so well.
Everyone loved when Piper got the shit kicked out of him by the wave and he was just sat there and destroyed.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh no!"
At the end of Act 2.
Yeah, that was the end of Act 2.
Storytelling, it's important. Learn it.
It is. No matter how truncated. I mean, that's why, like, We talk about a lot on our show how amazing it is people can fit so much storytelling these days into 11-minute episodes. But it's a really good exercise for getting at the heart of what you're supposed to do with the story and, like, not dwelling on unnecessary crap that's not interesting or important or funny.
It's the same principles of writing a haiku.
Yeah.
You have the limitation of of extremely little space to get across this entire idea.
And I think it just makes for stronger writing.
You gotta,
like more densely packed.
It's like you gotta think inside the box, but you also gotta push really fucking hard against the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as long as you stay in the box, then you can fucking make something really fucking cool.
Yeah, and not view the box as an enemy.
No,
view it as like something that's actually helping
something to
you
bounce ideas off of. Like, well, we can't do that. Like, restriction can lead to fucking really great things. Necessity is the mother of invention. If you're deprived, then you'll work harder to come up with something great.
Did Shakespeare say that?
No.
I know he did say brevity is the soul of... He did say brevity is the soul of wit, which is also a principle here.
Yeah, totally.
Good artists copy, great artists steal. You know who said that? Me. That was Chris Straub. Who did the goof?
You took it to a real meta level there.
Yeah. Some of these trailers. First one I want to talk about is Kubo.
Oh, Kubo.
The whole time I was watching that trailer, I'm like, you are fucking kidding me. This is not stop motion.
Like,
I was angry at how gorgeous.
He was angry. He was, like, offended. How dare you?
How dare you be this amazing looking?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of post-production happening there. But even within the confines of what is still stop motion, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Also,
again, narratively speaking, looks like a fun fucking movie.
Love Kubo's design. He's the coolest kid.
I know, and like it's been such a long time since there's been like a real like epic adventure, like stakes and legends and shit.
He's the big boss of children.
Yeah, for kids, in a kids movie. Because, kids movies have, been very heavily leaning on comedy. Because I guess it's more marketable. And it's kind of like, pretty bold to make a film that's not marketed on comedy, isn't meant to be like a comedy movie. Not that it can't be funny at times.
There was that joke in the trailer. It's like, I only get 3 questions? That was the first one.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff's gonna be in there.
But that's not the kind of joke that a kid would be like, ha ha ha, mommy!
Yeah.
They drank that eagle's pee!
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
So I'm very excited. That's our next one coming up down the pipeline as far as theatrical releases are concerned.
Can't wait.
We also saw a proper first trailer for Storks.
I can maybe wait.
Fun. Yeah, not a must-see, but it looks like we now have an idea of what the movie's about. It looks like it could be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm curious about it.
I like the anime, baby.
There was one phenomenal joke in that trailer. It's like, Orphan Tulip, come on, let's go. Just Tulip, please. Orphan hurts my heart.
I also think that even though they're probably going to get overused in the trailers and marketing, I do enjoy those wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the wolves were phenomenal.
The wolves were the best.
Because they're like they just turned dog sounds into real words.
Yeah,
like they inflected exclusively how dogs do.
Mm-hmm. And then I saw this was my first time seeing the more extended trailer for Sing.
Yeah,
which again does look pretty promising. I am very curious to see it because it looks like they have a lot of different stories going on.
I think it'll be fun.
And I think the
trailer implies that there's 2 principal ones: the pig and what Nina describes as the gorilla that everybody wants to fuck.
Oh no! Please don't.
I mean, it's not hard to see.
Yeah,
he's a very handsome gorilla man.
I mean, I don't know. Pig's all right.
Yeah. One of the goofs in there doing like the montage of song tryouts was an alligatoid doing Humpty Dance, which I appreciate, obviously. That's the song that probably more than anything else got me into hip-hop, because I'm extremely white. But my problem is that it was like an alligator instead of like a rhesus monkey. Because there's a lot of that song is like, my nose is big, I'm not ashamed, big like a pickle, I'm still getting paid, I get laid by the ladies who know I'm in charge, both I'm living and my nose is large. Like, you gotta get an animal with a big old fucking nose.
Alligators have big noses.
There's a snout, it's different. A rhesus monkey...
They probably didn't want to compare a song, the only hip-hop song, to a monkey, because of unfortunate racial implications and a history of that.
That's probably true.
It's a kid's movie, they gotta double-check their list.
On the bright side, regardless of what animal is saying it, is going to teach kids about the Humpty Dance.
Mm-hmm.
They could use some marketing these days. It's a couple generations behind.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's important.
There was a lot of trailers.
Yeah,
like,
and some of it was live action. We got a Ghostbusters trailer. We got a
I didn't.
trailer for the Pete's Dragon. Dude, should you get a trailer for a movie called Wildlife?
No. I might have missed the first couple of trailers. I walked into the theater on Kubo and then saw Storks, and then saw Sing, Pete's Dragon, and I think that might have been it.
Did you see Moana?
Yes, the Moana one. I didn't remember that because of that. I've already seen that trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like watching. I really hope he does the fucking rock eyebrows a lot.
Yeah, I'm so yeah.
Wildlife, I don't want to get into. It looks like a direct-to-grocery store movie.
Can't.
About Robinson Crusoe and like some fucking animals who help him from pirates. It looks like lizard shit.
Awful.
It is. It was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been as perplexed by an animated movie trailer since I saw Norm of the North.
Now,
and of course, the new Ice Age movie trailer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get that one. But like Pete's Dragon intrigued me because like I haven't seen the original Pete's Dragon. I'm pretty sure this is nothing like the original Pete's Dragon.
I thought that was just a book.
It was it was a live action movie where they like Roger Rabbited a dragon in there, but in like the 60s.
Oh.
Yeah, did you not know about that?
No. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, yeah.
A buddy of mine at work who I just discovered today is 32. I thought he was like 27.
I have a coworker.
It kind of changes
like
everything. Yeah, because he looks like he's my age. But said that like he saw that trailer because he saw Finding Dory before I did. He's like, it seems like they're cutting out all the subtext of like child abuse that was in the first movie. And I'm like, I haven't seen this movie. Like, when did this movie come out?
Like the 60s, I think.
77.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he was not born then. He's not that old. Whatever.
I mean, he was old enough to have it on VHS.
Yeah,
that's true.
Whereas we did not. Should we watch Pete's Dragon?
It's mostly live action. I don't know. How about like if one of us ever has the time to just sit down and watch it, then whoever does that can holler back at us if we should bother.
Yeah, on like a plane or something.
Yeah.
This
looks like the gritty reboot.
Yeah.
Like the gritty DC
or not even
reboot.
gritty, but like the Maleficent of Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's making everything super drama, which is weird. I wonder if they're gonna do that to Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Probably. Also, he's fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dragon, but then again, I like dragons are great.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you like a dragon?
All right.
Finding Dory.
Found her.
You found her. She's found. So production. How do we do this? How did it get made? Well, it's not that hard to imagine.
How it's made.
You took the best-selling DVD of all time, and you made a sequel to it.
Yeah. Originally, before work on this film even started, Disney had planned to make a Finding Nemo sequel without Pixar's involvement through Circle 7 Animation.
Was that before they completely owned Pixar?
Maybe.
Because Nemo came out before that.
Did it?
Yeah.
That they bought out Pixar, I remember, after The Incredibles. I don't know if it was immediately after The Incredibles, but I know Incredibles was out because I remember seeing a stupid cartoon in like a magazine about it.
Yeah. Circle 7, if you don't remember, was the Disney studio that Disney announced back in 2005 with the intention of making sequels to Pixar properties. I suppose this was before Lasseter got on board, because one of the good things that Lasseter did was sort of get rid of the direct to whatever sequel studio shit nonsense Disney was doing.
Yeah, they were doing
and this
a lot
seemed
of
like
that.
he kneecapped Disney Toon.
And this seems like what would have been an extension to that, but that was definitely kneecapped. In 2006, Circle 7 was shut down. So, around 2012, 2013 is when we first started getting news that a sequel was going to be made. You know, Ellen obviously has been petitioning for this sequel since the original movie came out, like every single episode of her show.
We've had a lot of fun here, but I'd like to take a moment to say, please let me do Dory again.
Now
not
watch
like at
me
a fucking
dance!
theme
Woo!
park. And not like at a fucking theme park, although I'll do that too, and have and will. But I want to do the movie again.
Like, originally, the director, Andrew Stanton, was kind of, didn't want to talk about it when the news broke, because he had directed the John Carter movie, and that didn't go over so well. But officially...
That was Disney being like, you know what, we should try sci-fi again. Oh, no!
Yeah. But yeah, Disney officially announced the sequel April 2013. And of course, you know, Ellen came, Albert Brooks were all reprising. It was great.
Everybody reprised except for the voice of Nemo.
Because he grew up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He did actually have a role in this film. He played the truck driver. One of the truck drivers.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres had this to say on her show. I have waited for this day for a long, 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 long time. I'm not mad it took this long. I know the people at Pixar were busy creating Toy Story 16, but the time they took was worth it. The script is fantastic, and it has everything I loved about the first one. It's got a lot of heart, it's really funny, and the best part is it's got a lot more Dory. So...
Now here's a kid who made a vine!
Later 2013, Stanton actually started speaking about, like, why they were going about making the film. Obviously, Disney wanted to do it, and he was like, I don't want to do any sequels, but, like, sequels are gonna happen. They just are.
And they're frankly easier to greenlight.
Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah.
So they were like, okay, if you're gonna plan a sequel for this film, we'll do it, but we want to be able to be creative about it. You know, can you give us a timeline about when we release them, so that way we can actually, like, take up the time we need.
Can we make them good?
To make it something we want it to be.
Can you let us make them good? Just this once.
So Stanton said, like, when he came up for the story, you know, he was saying, like, he doesn't normally watch his own films, because after they're done, he's watched them, like, 50 million times. So, about 2010, when Finding Nemo was getting ready for its 10-year re-release in 3D, he rewatched it, and it got him interested in the world and story again. He started to think about how easily Dory could get lost and not find Marlin and Nemo again. She was basically in the same state that she was when Marlin found her. I didn't know where she was from. I knew that she had spent most of her youth wandering the ocean alone, and I wanted to know that she could find her new family if she ever got lost again. It's almost like the parental side of me is worried. But, you know, he kept it pretty under wraps, because if he ever mentioned it out loud to anybody, people would explode.
Yep.
So, he put it together, he pitched it to Lasseter in early 2012. Lasseter was like, rad, let's do it. Let's call Ellen. That was the first step. After pitching it to Lasseter, getting a writer, getting the treatment, calling Ellen. That was the steps involved. Another big thing about the process of writing the film was the difficulty of writing it when you have your main protagonist, main character. One of their main character traits is that they forget. And the writer that Stanton selected for the screenplay was Victoria Strauss, which he had collaborated with before. But it was really challenging. She said, you don't realize until you sit down to write a character who can't remember things how integral memory is to absolutely everything we do. And that's what creates a narrative that people can follow. when a main character can't self-reflect and can't tell a story, that character is very difficult to design because she can't really lead. To get her to be able to lead and to get an audience to be able to trust her was the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, that was a concern coming into this movie is, media has proven time and time again that you can't give a leading role to a breakout supporting character. It doesn't work. Unless when you intend to just have the character do the same shit, but they're the main character.
Yeah.
Because then there's really no anchor.
Right.
Whereas this movie really took a deep look into, here's, Dory's whole bit is that, in the first one, she was really spacey, she was really, ditzy, and it all came from the idea that she forgot things that just happened to her all the time. And it took the idea of that jokey premise and let's go into this. Let's examine this as an actual handicap, which it is, and that's what the movie's about, is her overcoming that. And that is the central theme of this movie, is about overcoming handicaps and disabilities. And when you look back, it's that was also a big part of the first movie.
Yeah.
Nemo's janky fin, Gil's, huge scar. The other tank gang, the
every single member of the tank gang had something.
Jacques had OCD. Deb had the dissociative disorder of treating her reflection as a different person. Bruce and the other sharks were rehabilitated addicts.
Mm-hmm. In a very general sense. If we go any deeper with this, it'll turn into a fucking grimdark coma theory.
Yeah.
No, but and obviously Dory was there, and all the other members of the tank.
Yeah, and Marlon had debilitating anxiety that fucked up the people around him more than he even fucked himself up.
Right.
He was if he was on his own, he was gonna make it work, but he wasn't. Yeah,
if Dory hadn't been there,
I mean, I'm saying Dory or Nemo. If he was just alone, he would have made it work.
Yeah, he never been in love and had kids, and
he would have been very eager to just be a recluse, I think. So, in this movie, we've got the nearsighted whale shark. We've got this movie's, I would say, breakout character, Bailey the beluga, who for him, it's not so much the injury that jacked up his echolocation, but the mental block which prevents him from, that's really what's preventing him from recovering.
Which is a huge part of rehabilitation, is believing that you can get better and do the things you used to do again.
That's one of the things that the final season of Korra absolutely nailed.
Mm-hmm.
Hank has got a whole collection of stuff.
Mostly his missing limb, but
he
also seems to be very scarred from his experience.
Yeah, a lot of trauma.
Yeah, it's Becky.
Yeah.
What's up with Becky? And, there's the whole bit with Nemo, and, Nemo's you didn't believe she could do it. Just because she's the way that Becky is, doesn't mean Becky can't get shit done.
Nemo would not get off his about that.
Dad, you fucking suck today.
I'm gonna drag you for half of this movie.
Dad, I cannot fucking believe you said that to Dory. And then Marlo's I couldn't have said that. That's horrible. That's the worst thing a person can say to another person.
Oh, man.
He's you did say that, Dad, stop trying to gaslight me.
And even the whole theme of the institution itself, where it's about rescue, rehabilitation, and release. Part of that was a rewrite.
Because they saw Blackfish.
And they were oh.
When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, place with this.
No, they originally
that's gonna sabotage merchandise sales.
Yeah, exactly. Originally they thought of Destiny for being an orca, and they're
nope. That's
and then there was the ending originally involved characters ending up in a SeaWorld marine park.
No.
But then the revision was no, this is a sanctuary. This isn't a This is an actual sanctuary, not a place that claims that it is, but isn't.
Which is sort of an idealized idea, but...
Yeah. But yeah, there is this theme of people who have physical or mental problems that make it really hard to live their life, yet they do pretty well. And like,
they learn to do it.
They learn to do, or they were always able to do it all along. Like, that was the thing with Dory. Like, she was always able to do it. She always
had these systems in place. Like that's
she just needed the space to do it her way.
Yeah. And she needed a system of support. Like that's when she's at her lowest in this movie, is when she's alone. And she's alone and she's panicking, because when she's panicking, she has nothing to hold on to.
Right.
Scariest, fucking awfulest part of the movie to fucking sit there. I'm just like, the whole time, I'm just like, oh god, no. Oh god, no. Oh no.
The part in the murky kelp forest?
I was like, I was gonna throw up.
Everyone in the theater, like all the children were just not even necessarily crying really loudly, but just giving these moans of just, oh.
yeah, that
they were learning. They were being shown.
Yeah. And even there were some grown-up people who were like,
oh yeah, there wasn't a dry eye in the fucking house. People
were like, oh no. As soon as I guess we'll get into but the big, the lowest point, there was a dude who was almost immediately after we learned what the film wanted us to think we knew about the parents, he was like, no, they didn't. No, they can't be dead.
There were a bunch of teens behind us who were honestly pretty cool, but they were still teens.
Yeah.
Because Nina and I went on a Tuesday in our local theater. It's $5. And we went at the 10:30 show, and he was like, I thought this was going to be empty. It's summer, Nina. There were kids and everything. They were cool.
Small babies, and it was
they were
10:30 showing.
Yeah, they were cool enough.
Most of mine were pretty cool, although it just made me baffled. Some of them were a lot of them were really young. And I'm just I guess they have the cognitive functions to follow a narrative, but they definitely don't want to sit here for 90 minutes. And then, of course they're gonna act up every 20. And then I'm pretty sure some kid was pulling my hair behind me, really lightly. And I was just I don't want to turn around because then I have to have a moment with some parents. So I'm just gonna ignore this.
And I'm gonna miss this joke with the seal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss this one joke with these seals that I love and never want them to stop doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit through the entire credits. Oh, here it is again!
There were some kids in front of us who, as soon as the movie started and we saw, Nemo and Marlin, they were like, Mommy, look! Because, that's the age. They're
I wasn't expecting this!
Mommy, look, it's Nemo! And it's yes, it is. It's Nemo. And it's and it's oh boy.
Yeah. The first shot of the movie is baby Dory.
Yeah.
With her eyes that don't fit in her fucking
literally
body.
Everybody was like,
oh
no! No! So cute.
It was voiced by the producer's daughter or somebody's daughter.
That's gotta be.
John Ratzenberg.
Sloane Murray. Murray is the 7-year-old daughter of producer Lindsay Collins.
7, really?
Yeah.
I would guess younger than that, but maybe she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Mommy.
I like those few seconds we got of teen Dory for 2 seconds.
Yeah, teen Dory was great. Oh man, who was teen Dory played?
Yeah, by? Who give me the fucking millennial teen Dory.
I don't know.
I saw it in the credits, but didn't recognize the name. I'll get back to you on that.
Oh yeah, I probably should. I was reading the credits. I didn't even think to look for her name. And then I was trying to figure was Willem Dafoe one of the fish?
He was Gil.
Ah, yeah, I thought he might have been because I thought wait, Willem Dafoe was in this movie, and then of course I saw the name before the post credits.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Nikki.
Yeah, it's they spoiled the goof.
Yeah.
Because I remember... Because they gave the names. It was Bubbles and Deb and everything.
Yeah. I just completely forgot them. I was gonna watch the first one before, but then I forgot, and I was like, well... just now. But I remember basically.
So, if you want to compare the two films, you know, people are like, is it not as good? Is it better? Is it blah blah?
First of all, you're dumb.
Yeah, like, I saw a breakdown of it. Well, like,
before we start, an actress named Lucia Geddes is credited as Tween Dory. She has no other credits on IMDb, so somebody knew.
Cool.
Okay.
Probably somebody else's daughter.
Yeah, probably. So, like, the original movie was kind of like the Odyssey, right?
Sure.
It was this perilous journey, there was horrors of the ocean, there's a drama and all this shit happening. Whereas this one is more like the Iliad, I guess, because it's on a much smaller scale, in a way. It's more about personal self-discovery and reunion, and it's not much about encountering, like, one horrible set piece after another. It's about, like, trying to come home.
Yeah, and again, the trailers did make it seem like it was another series of set pieces. And it's not to say that there aren't.
There's a couple.
But it's much less the driving form of the film. That was the driving form of at least Marlon and Dory's half of the movie, was a series of set pieces.
Yeah, it was like...
The jellyfish, the sharks, the angler.
The fish in formation.
Yeah, the fish in formation, the
sea turtles.
crush.
The sea turtles,
yeah.
Whereas
Escape.
this film, they sort of, like, the very beginning, we're like, oh, we're gonna go on another adventure. It's like, no, we're there. We made it. Like,
oh.
First couple minutes, we're already in the place we need to be. We just have to figure out what happened here.
Yeah, I knew that Crush was gonna be in there for about as long as he was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, that was, like, my least favorite thing, because I was like, oh, like, this is just, like, the first
It was
one.
very phoned in.
I mean, the joke about the poop was funny.
Feeding the fish. Yeah, I mean, here's the other piece of at least acclaimed literature that you can compare this to is Memento.
Wow.
It's Memento.
I never
Kind
saw
of,
Memento.
yeah.
Me neither.
Oh.
But like,
I'm pretty sure the gimmick with that was it was like the actual the actual film scenes were like chronologically backwards.
It was, and we get a bit. There's elements of that, like the way that the flashbacks are not constructed strictly linearly.
Oh no, not at all.
No,
which is why. I mean, they're constructed in such a way that, first of all, the idea that she was in this aquarium at birth is not immediately evident.
no.
Yeah,
Not until after you get in there.
There's some really good
way,
reveals.
The way that it was it was almost like it was a very good piece of nonlinear storytelling. Like the thing I always go to is The Sound and the Fury, because it's like a book, and it makes me sound smarter than anything else.
The interesting about the structure of this film is that in the original movie, they were planning on doing the same thing with Marlon's backstory. It was going to be, the death of his wife and everything was supposed to be revealed through multiple flashbacks over the course of the film. But, it didn't really work because they felt like if you don't understand what Marlon's deal is immediately, then he's too unlikable. You can't be as sympathetic with him.
Yeah, that's true.
The audience needed to know why he was so overprotective, why he was so anal retentive, why he was so anxious constantly.
Yeah, why he was so broken. And the beginning of the movie establishes that perfectly.
Yeah.
Also, it would have been a bad reveal because it's like, it's a single dad and he's overprotective of his son and keeps having flashbacks. Oh, she died. Like, yeah, I can figure that in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's like the most basic reveal is dead wife.
Yeah. So they thought they learned from the mistake from the previous film, and they're like, okay, so let's tell all of Dory's backstory at the start of the movie again.
Her backstory.
Backstory. But then they were like, oh, well, that doesn't work for Dory at all.
No, now there's no dramatic heart.
No.
I mean, part of the thing was The Sound and the Fury, actually, to make it an apt comparison, is that the part of the book I'm referring to is told by the perspective of a handicapped man who has, like, the brain of a very young I don't know how, not how sound the science is, but he doesn't form memories properly, and he remembers memories and relives parts of his life with no consideration for chronology. And that's how these memories are presented in the movie. It's not chronological, it's as they're relevant.
Yeah,
and as a result, we get to see the pieces fall in where they fall, and then we get the complete picture at the end.
Right. And it works for this because the memories aren't really like telling a story other than just telling you about Dory's life. How it used to be. Her
life and the tools that she, with the help of her parents, created to help her live.
And there is an arc to those memory stories, because at the end of the last memory she has, the first memory she has is she wants to go play with the other fishes, and her parents are like, I don't know if we're ready, we're still working on it. And then the last memory she has is her parents being like, yeah, go play with the fishes, you did it, you're the best, we love you. So in that way, yeah, like it did sort of have an arc, but the memories themselves were kind of scattered of like what her baby life was like, and only came up when she remembered something relevant to what she was seeing or hearing or experiencing.
It was great.
It came in waves and then all at once at the end. And like, it was both like very like touching and sad, but also kind of, they were able to pull a laugh at it, not at Dory's expense, but like whenever she would come out of the flashback and she'd be like hugging, be like, Mommy. It was kind of like, aw.
Because the notion of having a long-term memory was so novel to her that she behaviorally didn't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. It was so vivid because it's so novel.
It's like what Jumbo was saying in Stitch, where it's like, what is it like to have like no memories you can revisit in the middle of the night when you're all alone? And that's kind of why Dory kept bother in the opening scene after the flashback scene, when Dory was just like, Marlin?
Kept trying to go into the anemone.
Because it's like, well, what do you do if you don't have a memory to revisit when you're bored and alone? And so that was like her first time experiencing that kind of stuff.
One of my favorite jokes from the beginning was with Mr. Ray, where he starts the song with the long O, and then it actually smash cuts to later in the song.
That was really good. That was like that was the polar opposite joke of the crush bit, because it's like the crush bit was a phone in callback. The Mr. Ray joke is much more of a chop and screw. Like it's taking your expectations and doing something with them.
Yeah, it's elevated. Yeah. Like we learned that all the Rays are these hokey showmen.
I'll believe that of manta rays. I liked the bird.
Becky?
Yeah, Becky.
I love Becky.
Becky's great.
Yeah, the seals were Idris Elba and some guy I've never heard of.
What's his name?
Hmm?
Well, what's his name?
Dominic West.
Oh, okay.
Is the other guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just making sure I didn't, because you didn't say his name, because it's like, oh, Nikki hasn't heard of him. Oh, I guess he's not important.
Great joke about English accents. Because Orf. Like in that Game Grumps where they had Jacob Anderson, he's like, oh, fuck Orf.
Yeah.
Like, who's Orf? Do you mean Worf?
Yeah. The one criticism I did hear sort of levied at the film when it does come to like these characters with various disabilities was the depiction of like, say, Becky and Gerald versus the other characters.
I can see that.
Where like their whole thing was purely for the purposes of humor, they were made to look ugly and weird.
Yeah.
And even like my dad at the end of the film was like, God, that Gerald's a real fucking shithead. And I'm like, Dad, he just, what the fuck? It's just a silly sea lion who wants to sit on a rock.
His fucking little happy, like at the end.
Like, I did it. Yeah. Oh, Gerald was played by Torben Zan Bullock.
Who, I don't know. Oh, who also played Becky. So it sounds like he was a guy on the crew who could do animal noises.
Yeah.
I want a really ugly, detailed plush of both of them.
I know. I love them so much. And like even then, like, though they seemed to be like incapable of stuff, they were very capable. Like Becky was like, nah. Like my fish aren't in this bucket anymore.
Yeah, Becky was doing her best, and again, Marlin is letting everyone down.
Yeah. He was like, Becky was going to come back for them when he left them on the tree. She just needed some popcorn. She was hungry.
Yeah, she was
carrying
like,
your
popcorn.
ass. Buckets full of big buckets of water are heavy.
Yeah, like, there's no way a bird that size could actually lift a bucket of water.
Yeah, this is some Monty Python shit.
It was a pail.
Water's like
it was a little baby
Nina,
bucket.
water's the heaviest thing on the planet.
Yeah, and it's not even possible for loons to, like, stand upright. Their legs are too spaced far apart.
Too
this
shitty.
Is a messed up bird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the biological science in this film is much more inaccurate than normal for Pixar.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they kept getting dumped in different containers of water and having no problem.
At one point, they fell in a dirty mop bucket.
Which should have had, like, cleaning chemicals and shit, and they should have choked and died.
How long can octopuses hold their breath?
Not that long.
Yeah. He was amphibious.
Yeah, like, they're tropical fish, and then they were in the cold California water, like, and then they would, like, get into random things of water that wasn't even salt water.
Yeah.
For the right temperature. Or the fact that Dory's parents were able to live in the California Bay for how many years?
Or just
not
sludge dump.
Still alive.
That, too.
Aged phenomenally.
When
gotta give him credit for that.
And when the first movie even makes reference to, like, animal longevity being a thing. Like, so, like, that exists in this world. Every fish doesn't just live forever. Just the turtles.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I'm not knocking it. Like, I get it. With the water,
doesn't...
I get it.
Yeah, otherwise there'd be no goddamn movie.
And it let them do some creative, fun stuff. And, like, oh, hey, how do we have fish
hijack a truck?
Yeah, that was rad.
Blue Tang apparently live 8 to 20 years in captivity.
Oh, alright, that's okay then.
It's possible they could have lived.
But how long do clownfish live? Is this sad now?
Oh, God. It's gonna be some
like
fucking...
2 weeks.
I mean, Nemo...
Is this gonna be fucking Arwen shit?
I mean, I'm, you know, when they said a year later, I'm just gonna assume they meant a year later in fish time. Because...
Yeah, that's true, because they didn't change Nemo's model at all.
Nemo didn't age.
Yeah, and fish would age very quickly.
Yeah. So I guess it's a year in fish time.
I guess they didn't want to do the fucking, like, Max Goof teen thing.
No.
I don't want Nemo to... I don't want that to happen to Nemo.
No.
He needs to be a forever baby.
He does.
He needs to be Pixar's Maggie Simpson.
Yeah, clownfish have an expected lifespan of 3 to 6 years, but properly cared for in captivity can live as long as 20.
Alright, well, that's fine then.
Yeah, they're intelligent fish, you know. They know how to take care of themselves. That and the fact that beluga whales live in the Arctic and not coral reefs. But whatever, who cares? Whatever.
It is one of those points you gotta be like, Moofy.
It's a movie.
But like the water's still really pretty.
But I think like having
and what's cool about this one is that the water exists.
Yeah, oh, it's so pretty. And I think like part of like having Hank as he was sort of like to combat like, okay, we want these fish to navigate a human space. What's in a thing that lives in the sea?
An aquatic animal that's most capable of navigating a museum. It is an octopus.
Yeah. And
it is.
And in interesting and fun to animate and look at ways. Like when he was like swinging from the pipes in the boiler room.
Spider-Manning around.
He is so cool.
Yeah, octopi are pretty fucking dope.
I love them. They're so cool.
They're smart.
And we also get some backstory about stuff. Like we know why Dory knows how to read. It's because she lived in a museum
with words.
Yeah, in the first movie, she just knew how to read to advance the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Escape and P. Sherman and stuff. And it was like, wait, Dory, you know how to read? It's like, yeah, I know how to read. Wait, I do know how to do that. And then also, like, speaking whale and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything that was... the speaking whale was just, like, a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, like, there's some actual, like, heartfelt dialogue that's delivered in whale.
Yeah. An interesting thing, though, is that in the original film, Dory does give a one-off line where she's like, oh, it runs in my family. So in original drafts of the film, they were going to be like, well, okay, so then Dory's parents also have short-term memory loss. But then they're like...
That doesn't work at all.
There's no way they could have conversations.
This family would die.
Wasn't the original line, it runs in my family, at least I think it does?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that one, that's the one they wrote off. And then everything else actually came to roost.
Yeah, pretty much. Because there was it wouldn't even, as a film, like, having characters have conversations, it wouldn't work if, like, they were constantly forgetting what everybody said throughout the film. Like, it just wouldn't work. Because, like...
A whole family with short-term memory loss just kind of sounds like a bad, 10-second Family Guy goof. And then you can't do anything more with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could even be, like, a good, like, short goof, but it's gotta be short.
Mm-hmm. And there was a couple other...
Huh? No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, you can't do for longer, because then it raises too many questions that you legitimately can't answer.
Yeah. And, like, there's a couple other things that they wanted to do that they're like, nah, like, originally there was going to be a parents' school day sequence. The Tank Gang was actually going to have more than just the after-credits scene, which was also impossible, but hilarious.
Yeah.
Where they would have encountered Dory, Marlin, and Nemo after escaping the giant squid and would have helped Nemo and Marlin to rescue Dory from the Institute. They would have played the role of the SEALs.
Oh, that sounds better.
You know, they have experience breaking in and out of places, you know?
That sounds better.
But I guess they wanted to do the SEALs. Hank apparently was gonna have a thing for hot sauce.
What?
That seems like a joke where it would be like, somebody pitched it and they're like, but why though?
It'll be funny, guys! Trust me.
At one point, Bailey was gonna be, like, female.
I got product placement with Sriracha.
Bailey was gonna be female and, like, be like Destiny's sister, and they wouldn't be on good terms. Again, Bailey originally was gonna be a killer whale, but they're like, no.
Can't do that.
Originally, Destiny was gonna be Dory's adopted sister, but they're like, that doesn't fucking work.
No, that's stupid. They're just friends.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of little chunky stuff. They're like, nah, just get rid of it, and like...
I mean, this is the creative process. You know, you throw spaghetti. And then you mold it into fine spaghetti art.
Yeah, I mean, like, they fed Destiny fish, which whale sharks don't eat.
No.
They eat plankton.
Yeah, and krill.
Yeah, it really... Now
I don't know
that
what
you say she was supposed to be a killer whale, now I'm just like...
They didn't change that sequence.
They didn't. They literally just, like... Control S on the whale, Control X to cut, Control V to paste in the whale shark.
Because a whale shark is a shark.
Yeah,
it's a fish.
not a whale.
It's not a whale. So
it just looks like one.
Like, how does she speak whale? She's not even really a whale. I don't know.
Yeah. It just works out because whale sharks look like whales.
Yeah. They're real big. Real big fish.
They're big and whaley. They're roundy and everything.
Yeah, they do filter feed and...
They're literally just called whale sharks because they're the size of whales. It's just marine biologists calling them fat. It's mean.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just call them biggest sharks.
The biggest shark.
Yeah.
I did. She was great. I mean, she and Bailey were an amazing team. Like,
yeah.
The way she antagonized him
That's
when we first met her. He thinks he has a problem, but he doesn't.
This is like such legitimate, like, shitty neighbor gossip.
And the Bailey's like, I can hear you talking.
Or like roommate gossip.
Yeah.
Which is actually still an extant thing because everybody hates their neighbors now. Nobody interacts with their neighbors.
All they do, they just come back from class, they just turn on Friends all day.
I've timed it out. They should be done. They started over. Who would do that?
I had a roommate who did that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Bailey is probably going to be like, I imagine people quoting him in the way people quoted Dory in the last film.
Bailey, use your echolocation. Oh yes, my beautiful gift!
I mean, he was funny.
He was very funny.
He was very funny. I love the way they animated his head.
Yeah, he's always, like, so undulatingly... Ew, I love it.
Well, it was like his head receiving the echolocation signals.
I love it.
And I love he was literally just going, ooh, ooh.
I was like, the only thing that would have made it better would be like the old Super Friends Aquaman noise. Like,
well, it worked like fucking
Daredevil.
Like he could zoom in and out and stuff.
Zoom in, enhance.
He pinched it. He did like the iPhone pinch. The beluga whale is commonly referred to as the beluga, melonhead, or sea canary due to its high-pitched twitter.
Sure thing.
Melonhead is like what Stan Lee would call it.
Yeah.
The incomparable melonhead.
Or like, it's your destiny. Like literally everything he said is quotable.
One day, in the oceans of Coney Island. A meteorite from Planet X came crashing down.
Oh, my stomach.
And gave fish supernatural intelligence.
I mean, they made this book. It's like Stan Lee writes DC characters. They made that book. It was like what it was like a Stan Lee, take the name Aquaman and make it your own. Okay. True believers.
Other characters I really enjoyed were the fish couple in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, all the couples were really good.
She was like, "Stan, you were just not being helpful today.
And then the two little the crabs, the one that was actually John Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
They're just like weirdly cutting the lawn with his.
Yeah.
I bet if you had crab claws, I bet that would be fun.
Yeah.
And they kind of cited their own movie with the tide pool touch pool scene. What with like the Caterpillar Daycare and Toy Story 3. They essentially did it again.
Oh yeah.
But with fish.
Yeah.
Like, children are monsters.
Yeah. That scene was, like, if you think about it, that scene was fucking scary.
Did you catch the picture of the girl from the first movie?
No, I did read that she was there.
Was there like a do not allow this person in here?
No, like when she first goes to the sanctuary, like on the guy's desk where the Septipus first shows up is like a picture of the little girl, pretty sure.
Was it Darla?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, Darla. It's like, I don't know.
like, well, looks like we're about done here. You're a scientist. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And the hang in there poster and Hank's reveal was pretty great.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like I kept seeing like anytime there would be like any kind of merch. There's a Funko of him, and at first I was like, why? Who's this? Who's this? You weren't in the other movie. But then, like, he shows it, I'm like, oh, wait, you're the best!
You're the grunky uncle.
He's the deuteragonist of, Dory's half of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. He has an arc, He's too afraid. Like, obviously something really bad happened to him in the ocean. He got really sensitive. He didn't want to be touched or anything. And then Dory showed him that it's nice to have friends. He's the guts of finding Dory. Yeah. Like, I just love the part where she hugs him, like, full on, like, slaps her fishy body, like, hug, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah, he, like, blushes using his camouflage.
Yeah. Yeah. Octopuses are so rad.
They're the best.
They're the best animal.
They
all cephalopods
keep getting new powers. You think they're out of powers, and they're like, oh, he was played by Al Bundy.
Cool.
Yeah, Ed O'Neill.
I mean, I've never seen the show.
Which show?
Married with Children.
Oh, yeah. I've seen, I saw it. It was pretty good for its time.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, fuck you to all other sitcoms.
Yeah.
It was like, here's a family that isn't fucking so peachy keen, goddammit. We're being real sad.
Yeah.
But you're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Because you hate your family too.
Yeah. It was doing similar stuff that The Simpsons was doing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, as far as the emotional impact of this film, like when I did cry a lot. Well, I didn't cry. I like had the tears trying to come out, and I was
I
like,
cried.
no.
Did you get throat lump?
Oh, I got major throat lump. I got headache because I was trying not to cry so hard. The first time I saw it. The second time I saw it, I didn't have as much of an emotional reaction, partly because it hadn't been that long. And also partly, like, a lot of the impact of this film is, like, seeing this for the first time.
True.
And, like, when everything hits the fan, it is so brutal and awful. You know, it's like one of the lowest moments, like everything is bad in that scene, you know, like, and one thing that I did really like about how they depicted certain scenes, like, in that scene where they're in the tank with all the other blue tangs, and they're like, Dory, your parents are probably gone, they're gone, and, you know, Dory just straight up like, they're dead.
Yeah, that caught me for a fucking loop. I was like, oh shit.
And then how they animate the shock, you know, not being able to focus on anybody around her, like the way they visually depicted that, and then like her internal voice.
That was legitimately terrifying.
It was very scary, and I think it was so well done. And then when she does finally get reunited with her parents, the scene where it's like in slow motion, them like spinning and like they're glowing, and it's like an otherworldly experience. Because that's what I've heard from, like, when you read stories about people who've, like, haven't seen their family for, like, their whole life, and then they finally get reunited on, like, Oprah or something, and it's like everything is slow and, like, time stops and doesn't feel real. I really liked how they depicted both of those scenes.
Yeah, she was basically just, like, detaching.
Yeah.
It's like she got flashbanged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just got worse. Like when she just dropped in the glass and it shatters and fucking like the octopus is being dragged away and she's just flopping there on the ground. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And then she gets dumped in the ocean again. She's alone.
Finding Dory, Spec Ops the line.
I mean, it's scary, and, like, I love how much they went there with it, you know, like, yes, it's all fun and games, Dory is silly and funny, but, you know, having this kind of disability or this kind of condition is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, like, she literally couldn't even remember what she lost. Why she was in trouble.
They took this goof from the first movie. I mean, and they did, like, do emotional stuff with it in the end when she loses Marlon and almost forgets him in the first movie, and that's really sad. But then they took it to an even realer level and then probably realized, oh, wait, this is the fucking saddest? We've had a bomb on our hands undetonated all this time. I think we gotta fucking arm it.
Yeah, like, I think Nikki read some tweet where it's like, you know, Pixar, you can make a movie without it being sad, right?
Movies don't have to be sad.
It's so good, though.
But it's good. Like, I can only imagine, like, if you have a condition that makes you a handicapped or disabled person, or, like, you're a family. Like, the scene where Dory has the flashback to when she got lost, and she's in the pipe thing, and listening to her mom cry about just, like, how scared and terrified she is for her daughter's future. Like, that is so real. Like, this idea that this person that you love, like, will always need help, you know?
Yeah.
To function.
That's...
You know, because...
The ending was so fucking amazing, of just, like, yeah, no, she's, like, different, she's got this thing, but, like, she's still, like, an individual, and she can still, like, function in her own way.
Yeah, like, it's that her own way, her own perspective. Like, that's what Nemo was trying to communicate to Marlin. Where
Listen,
it's like,
Dad!
Even with this little fin, it's like, yeah, it's different. People would say that it would bring me down or, like, make my life harder. Or same for Dory, but, like, that doesn't mean she isn't capable of doing things. Just because she doesn't do it your way or the way she's supposed to do it, doesn't mean she can't do it. Like, that's what her parents said. Her mom was like, Dory, don't you Like, that made me cry. She's like, Dory, you did it. You found me. And you did it in your own amazing, beautiful Dory way. Like, it wouldn't have been able to happen if it wasn't for your mind being what it is. For you being who you are and having your life be the way that it is. It's what made it all possible, you know?
What a good thing to tell a child.
That's such a good thing to tell kids, no matter who they are. Like, but especially if they have a condition that, you know, people say would make them disabled or handicapped, where it's like, no, it's like, that's just your way, and it's beautiful and amazing. You know? It's like a beautiful mind, but without the covering up the racist stuff.
Okay.
And Dory realizes it too. She's like, yeah, what would I do? I can do some pretty cool stuff. And like, that's been the theme of the first film too, where it's like, the only reason why Marlin found Nemo was because Dory was there and was like, let's just do this. Let's just go for it. Who knows what's gonna happen? Plans are stupid. You gotta do weird things that sound crazy in order to make your life happen.
Yeah. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy.
Mm-hmm.
If they remake Magic School Bus in any capacity, fucking Ellen for Miss Frizzle.
Yes. Oh yeah. But to talk less about heavy stuff and more about hilarious stuff, that ending set piece, not the epilogue set piece, but like the climactic set piece with the truck.
They steal a truck.
That is just like they can't do a third. Like, this is the last Nemo movie. They can't do anything more because like topping this would be like that would like this was the furthest my suspension of disbelief can go for this franchise, and I loved every minute of it. But if they went any further, it would be a fucking shit show.
If that truck had like flew 2 extra feet, you'd be like, "This is dog shit."
They basically just did Euro Truck Simulator for real.
Well, Toy Story, they stole a truck.
I get
it's kind of like an amped up version of that.
But like this is already going under the suspension of disbelief to believe that toys are alive, so that's got way more legroom. I think this is like semi-realistic fish.
Yeah, these are fish that more or less can do what fish do. Like, they've got a limited degree of opposability. Like, it's the idea that this octopus who behaves like an octopus with infinite lung capacity could drive a truck, and it's like, yeah, a little.
Maybe. I love it. I love how Dory was in those fucking, like expensive-ass workout water bottles.
Yeah.
Like the indestructible ones or whatever. It's been a long time since somebody has used that song in an unironic way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember last time I could think was Hitchhiker's Guide. Like, that was a good trailer.
Yeah, but this was like, no, the world is wonderful.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver is like, be free. Fishes.
You know what? I wonder if this was an idea they threw around at any point. It's like, should the fish worship Sigourney Weaver?
Probably.
I see. That would have been easy to suspend my disbelief for, because so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, and the comedy was like non-stop. Like, first it was the truck falling. Everything's falling out. The fish, the Matryoshka fishes, and then the barfing. And then the seals get hit by the fish and fall in the water. And like,
they get clocked. Because nobody remembers. Nobody really realizes how heavy fish are.
They're big. Like
Dory, like a blue tang, it's not a big fish. It's 1.5 pounds. There's like this little fish. Because they're all muscle.
It's like...
Have you ever seen a fat fish? You barf your eyes out.
They're huge.
I mean a fish with fat. With fat tissue.
No.
Yeah, that would be so weird.
Yeah.
Also, they would float and die.
Yeah. They have to be dense, or else they'll float. My god. It was too much. The fucking otters.
I like that they somehow all know what the cops are.
Yeah. They're gonna get arrested, go to fish jail. Nikki laughs like, oh, it's the fuzz. Oh, no.
God.
Cuddle party.
Yeah, I love. Okay,
that was the bit from Gravity Falls. Really.
Yeah.
I love cavorting.
I love that. Literally, the only thing that these otters did in the film was exist to like be adorable and like everybody automatically loves them unconditionally, and that they're the cutest animal objectively.
I mean, when the little otter caught Dory in his little paws.
They show like it's the same bit both times in a night.
Well, they established the otters previously in the thing.
That's true. You gotta.
With like the staff member who's like, "Thanks, Sigourney Weaver. Let's talk about it." It's like anybody else, you'd be like, "Thanks, thanks, Ben Stein." Ben Stein, you would be tired of it in like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But like, thanks, Cheech Marin. But like you get say like Sigourney Weaver, like you'd be like, I hate my job. I'm on my feet all day. I'm surrounded by kids. And you hear Sigourney Weaver's like, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, like the idea of Sigourney Weaver being the voice of God that Dory hears when she first arrives. She's like, Sigourney Weaver,
my friend Sigourney Weaver.
Where are you? My friend Sigourney Weaver told us it's gonna be okay.
And it's gonna be another 1.5 years until the next Pixar movie with Coco.
Yeah.
I mean, Cars 3 is coming out next June, but that's not a movie.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Or even like some props to like. I mean, obviously Ellen did amazing because she's not an actor, but like, you know, she really was like, oh, Dory. But also Albert Brooks was really good too. Like the parts where like Dory's like, do you know what it feels like? And Marlon's just like, yeah, I do. And it's like, there's a lot of like weight to those responses.
No, yeah, I always like Marlon's voice. He's just he's so tired.
Yeah.
I love him. He's a really good performance. I do wish I did want more awkward dad moments. I feel like the first film had a lot of that. And
yeah.
I mean, there was enough. There was a good amount.
Well, he did learn enough to give Nemo his space. That was the one thing that he retained from the first movie is like, but he learned enough to like.
I also mean like the moment from like with the dads and he's trying to tell a joke and he's just shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he can be a goofy asshole without his son around.
That's true. But it was like it was fun. It was more Dory's story, so it was like Dory being a goofy butt in the classroom repeating everything Mr. Ray says.
I was waiting for Mr. Ray to go off because I was about to. It's like, back off.
Pushing the kids away and then back and then this, that, and the other, you know.
Marlon just goes like, oh, you've got a helper. Oh, great. Like he can't like show any emotion other than joy when teaching small children.
Yeah. Especially since the kids like Dory.
Yeah.
It seems like she goes to school with Nemo a lot anyway. Just 'cause.
What else is she gonna do? She can't hold a job.
I wonder if he's fundamentally annoyed at Dory just as a teacher, just because it's like I literally can't. The one person I can't reach with my education. You're my arch rival.
You're my any one of those fucking kids from Stand and Deliver. Pick one.
She can read and remembers about octopus hearts.
That's Finding Dory. I mean, it's still, by the time this comes out, it's still in theaters. If you listen to this podcast and get the whole thing spoiled, sorrow. People do that, though.
Yeah, some of our listeners do, and it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, they don't seem to mind, because they still say that they still went back and watched it and enjoyed it, so it's like, good on you, but we don't...
Yeah, listen, we can't deliver...
We've never recommended it.
Yeah, we can't deliver the same emotional gut punches that this movie can, so it'll... Like, I even think that the gravity of that kelp forest scene, we did as much as we could, but you can't really capture that. You
can't really... I mean, it is... It puts you in her shoes of having a condition like that and how scary it is, having that anxiety attack. The same when she was in the pipes.
Yeah.
She had another anxiety attack, basically. Yeah. And it was, like, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she just lost focus for a second and it all went to shit.
And not only that, she knew exactly what was gonna happen. But she had to. She was like, I'm gonna fuck this up. And there's literally nothing worse on the planet than having a fear and then it comes true.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fucking... Most movies, they try to teach you that won't happen.
No.
It's not true, though. Sometimes it does.
And, like, her little anxiety monologue is so relatable, you know, where she's like, oh gosh, I don't know where I am, I don't know where I'm going, I'm gonna be stuck here forever, what's happening, what's this, what's that, what's there. And, like, even when she was in the kelp forest, like, when she was trying to calm down and reassess the situation, she's like, okay, or there's just a lot of water.
Like,
over here
we've all been there,
kelp
and
better.
I super related. As someone who talks to myself a lot, I super related. Except for with me, it's more of, oh, this is fucking great. I love this. Hey, everyone, the situation I'm in, exact stellar.
I'm using humor as a defense mechanism because I feel like I'm gonna puke my pants.
But just like being like so like in a place where you have to break down the most basic steps of like, okay, there's water, there's kelp. Kelp is better.
It's legitimate coping.
That's like that's what you do. Like that's how you get out of a situation like that. Or like, you know, she's like, sand? I like sand. Sand is squishy. You know, like just you're like trying so hard to like not just pass out.
I like due to my dabbling in voice acting, I got like a couple people who like follow my social media junk for just because they know me from that. And one time I got a request from somebody. They asked if I would please like record some stock phrases of like coping shit in like a soothing monotone voice. And like I'm like, if you fucking think that that's what my voice is for, I'm not. Oh sure, yeah, no fuck, yeah, I'll help. And then like I was wondering about them, and then like a little bit after I did that, they were like, I had to like go to an airport and to put up with all that bullshit, and so I listened to the thing you made me, and it super duper helped. Like, thanks a fucking lot, and I still think about them a lot. Like, I wonder, like, I wonder if they're still fucking listening to my shitty voice. I'm glad I helped.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, 'cause sometimes you just gotta break it down and just be like, I'm here. I exist. I'm not dying. I can do it. Yeah, somehow, something's going to happen.
Keep swimming.
It just keeps swimming, you know? Like, it was so cute when she was, like, swimming with Hank, and she's like, just keep swimming, my mommy wrote this song for me! Her parents are amazing parents.
Yeah.
Like...
They're too good.
They're like the most, like, I feel like fucking Marlon and then these guys.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, it's a Pixar film. It's also a Disney film. When those fish said that her parents were dead, everyone in the theater was like, "Yep."
Yeah,
they sure
it was
are.
like, no, they're dead.
They sure are. You fucking mouse. You did it again. Didn't you?
Piper's dad was probably dead.
I mean, it's just... But, like, they were so good. It's, like, so patient, and everything they taught her was, like, so helpful.
They really learned how she thought very quickly.
Yeah.
They're so in tune with her.
And,
like
it's,
so
that's...
cute.
I honestly hear more often parents not being able to comprehend their child's disability more than the other way around.
Ones who are like...
I mean, if I may get very real, very briefly, like, this is one of the reasons I don't want to be a dad. I don't think I'm capable of that.
You know, yeah. Then don't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Anybody
That's why I want to get... Yeah, like, I honestly feel I would be a crap dad, so, like, I don't want to have kids, ever, because I don't want to have to put some child through the misery of having me as the strongest adult figure in their life. That's gonna jack them up real bad.
But like when she's in the kelp forest and she's following the shell and it zooms out and you see all those shell trails.
And you comprehend immediately.
You comprehend immediately what's happened.
If that theater was empty, I would probably have been openly sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, they love her so much. And they're like...
I guess they then explain it for the kids.
And then they had to explain, like, we did this every day because we believed that you could do it. Because we wanted to be here in case you could. Because we knew you could do it.
Their life was so sad.
I know, like, I can't even imagine. Like,
because it's like, I mean, you hear, because like, I mean, like, again,
your
like,
child
this is getting...
is lost forever, basically.
This is getting super real, but like, parents... Like, that happens to parents when they, like, when a child gets lost forever, and it's like, they kind of just fucking live the rest of their life just, like, with hope. With
that
mostly dead
back.
hope.
They're all doing Seymour asses at it, and it's horrible. It's so sad.
Like, I mean, I can't imagine every day being like, well, maybe we'll find her today, or, like how
that's why they saw her, and it was like 10 seconds before they fully comprehended the reality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to bet that they hallucinated her before?
Probably.
I mean, again, let's not go to Coma Town. This movie's good, and you should watch it.
It is. That's usually that's our thesis statement, but that's just, like, yeah.
Yeah, like, they really did do it this time. Like, I've heard some people say, like, this is alright. I'm like, no, it's really good. They really did it again with
They
this.
did something very important with this, I think, because they attacked the subject so ruthlessly.
That's the main thing that I feel like people don't talk about, like, specifically. Like, people always talk about, like, how touching and cool and moving... There? Can you not hear me?
I can.
Oh.
Nikki's just a butt.
Let me just...
I can hear you.
Let me just get that down. 31, 40... Pixar movies, like, they always have, like, a really fucking important thing to say. Even if it's one thing, and even if they're not as good movies, don't convey it well enough, it's still very apparent what they're going for, and I always love that they always try and really fucking go for something.
Yeah.
You know, listen, as not good as a movie it is, Cars was trying to do some shit. It was, I would say, wholly unsuccessful. But it had a thematic goal to it. Cars 2, I don't know, I didn't see it. Apparently not.
Yeah, that's what they do. And that's like, it made me think back to, like, when I was a kid, and, like, the first time I saw Finding Nemo, and that first scene, how much of a gut punch, it is. And just feeling so thankful that I got to grow up as a young person and have Pixar telling these very daring, very powerful stories and being exposed to that kind of stuff at a young age. And, like, I just felt very thankful. Like, oh, thank you for some company for doing that. For going beyond just wanting all my money to wanting to make something genuinely meaningful.
I mean, really, Nemo is one of only 2 movies they've done that hit you with that turbo gut punch immediately.
Yeah.
Like, everybody talks about Up, but Nemo did it too. Like, without the same artistry and without this, like, this same, beauty to it, but it absolutely did do it. And it was great. I mean, like, other movies did it later.
I feel like it was just as good gut punching as Up in its own way.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to convey that.
Oh yeah, no. But it is, because, like, we do take that scene for granted nowadays, I think, because, like, imagine a world where you had never seen anything like Finding Nemo before. It's like, oh, it's a bunch of fish. Like, they look like fish, but they have human eyes. Like, this is cool. And then suddenly, like, you relate to this fucking real looking fish more than, like, most humans you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, and, like, between thinking about Finding Nemo and, like, talking about Lilo and Stitch, which came out the year before Finding Nemo did, and, like...
That's a pretty good one, too.
Spirited Away came out around this time, too, also in 2002, and it's, like, all these, like, really heavy, like, meaningful films coming out around the same time when I was, like, really young and impressionable, and I didn't realize how much of an impact it had on me, and, like, how I perceived other people and my own feelings and stuff. Like,
yeah, honestly,
it's just, it's wonderful.
We talked in our Inside Out episode. It's like, are kids really going to take this in? It's like, if your experience with Finding Nemo and stuff like this is an indication, yes.
Because
I mean, obviously, like, you, like the other 2 of us, you're more in tune with this kind of shit. But as a kid, you're not. It's when you reflect.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't get it everything the first time, and then, Finding Nemo was just one of those movies that everybody knew about and everybody watched constantly.
If your teacher had a hangover, you watched Finding Nemo.
And, like,
sometimes you were watching it in 2 classes at once.
And when you're
but maybe one was in Spanish.
And when you're a kid, you get the DVD or the Blu-ray now, or the digital download on your kid iPad or whatever, and you'll watch it over and over and over again. And I imagine kids will do that with Inside Out, and then after a while, they'll realize what it did for them, or they'll realize what they're watching and what it means.
You know, if my experience with home video is any indication, I don't know how universal this is, especially now, because I have no idea. I mean, I guess with Netflix and shit. I don't know if, like, I have to assume kids are still doing this because this is just how the child brain works. You get one movie where, like, you watch it over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
And, you know, even if they're not buying, like, DVDs anymore, they're doing that on Netflix. But the thing with me is that I would always have the movie on in the background as I was, like, playing with Hot Wheels or something. So it's something that you almost osmose after a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just like that. That's why I wasn't too broken up about like I wasn't too thirsty to like super rewatch it, because it's like this movie's embedded in my DNA. Like,
yeah,
I got it.
Now, I bet there's stuff I would notice before. Like,
yeah.
I never knew this until Nina mentioned it. Like in Dory, they render out the water. In Nemo, they don't. They fake the lighting with water, but everybody is just floating in empty space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I did want to go back and look at was like the art differences, because watching this movie and having not revisited the film in a while, my memory's clouded, and I just sort of went, I can't, like, this is what Finding Nemo looks like, but I know with my adult brain that this has got to be markedly better.
It's the same thing, like, you watch Toy Story 3, it's like, yeah, they all look like this. Oh my god, no. Sid, no!
Oh, man. Yeah, and, like, I don't know, and, like, especially since kids have so much stimulation and they like having a million different things going on at once, like, I can't imagine that some of this stuff won't get absorbed one way or the other.
Yeah, no. I've seen children like have the TV on and then they're also watching something on their tablet, and I'm like, your world is screaming at you constantly. I gotta go smoke weed and quiet.
Their brains are gonna be crazy compared to our stupid slow ass brains.
They're gonna be marrying rocket ships
that
they built.
Did you guys catch the? I think I pointed it out to Nina, but Tucci, did you catch the A1113? The A113 in this movie?
I didn't. Where was it?
It was the license plate on the truck that they stole.
I didn't even.
Well, it was CAL. It was CAL A113. So I guess like Cal Arts.
Was there a Pizza Planet or anything? Was there anything that anybody saw?
there must have been a Pizza Planet truck
Probably
on that highway.
Someone's gonna post like a really blurry Noom shot of it, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I guess
really blurry, a really blurry Bigfoot ass picture.
Yeah. Now I'm just picturing like a shitty like the photo of like the woods with the log, but instead of Bigfoot, it's like a careening Pizza Planet truck barreling through the
like
woods.
flipping through the air.